Hello and welcome back to Easy English Stories, the best podcast for practicing your English skills with simple stories in clear and slow English. As always, we will look at and review some key vocabulary from the story, and the aim is that you will learn or practice these words. Today's story is going back to ancient Greece. We're going right back in time to a very interesting time period, and that is about the gladiators. And the story is called The Secret of the Gladiator. We have some vocabulary to listen for today. These are words related to Rome and ancient Greece and gladiators. So let's have a look. The first word is arena. Arena. And this is a large open space for public events, often where gladiators fought. The second word is, of course, gladiator. Gladiator. And this is a fighter in ancient Rome who battled in arenas, sometimes even to the death. The third word is slave. Slave. And this is a person who is owned and forced to work without pay. So not very nice, not a good situation for them. And our next word is signal. Signal. And that is a movement or a sound used to give a message without speaking. And finally, freedom. Freedom. And this is the state of being free and not controlled by others. So, for example, a slave would want freedom, and someone who is a slave does not have freedom. Okay, now that we've looked at these key words, let's read our story. Okay, so The Secret of the Gladiator. The sun was rising over the great city of Rome. In the distance, the cheers of thousands echoed through the streets. In the great arena, a battle was about to begin. Cassius, a young gladiator, stood behind the gate, waiting for the horns to sound. He was once a slave, taken from his home in Gaul. Now he fought for his life in front of Roman crowds. But Cassius was different from the others. He didn't just fight to survive, he fought with a plan. The gate opened. He stepped out, sword in his hand, into the bright sand of the arena. Across from him was a tall fighter in black armor. The crowd roared. But Cassius wasn't looking at the other fighter. His eyes were on the emperor's box, high above the arena. Inside sat a woman in a red cloak, Flavia, the emperor's niece, and the only person who knew Cassius's secret. You see, Cassius had once saved Flavia's life during a fire in the palace, and in return she promised to help him escape. That morning, as she sat quietly watching the games, she gave a small signal to a guard beside her. The guard nodded and he left. Cassius and the other gladiator began to fight. Metal hit metal. Chunk, chunk. The crowd cheered louder, but suddenly smoke began to rise from one side of the arena. Too much smoke. Now, Cassius thought. He pushed the other fighter back and ran to the edge of the arena. A trap door opened beneath him, and two guards, Flavia's men, pulled him into the tunnel. He landed hard, but he was safe, and the sound of the crowd faded above him. One guard gave him a cloak and a new pair of sandals. "Go west," the man said. "There's a horse waiting." Cassius looked back once. He nodded, and then he ran through the tunnel. Free at last. He had got his freedom. That's the end of The Secret of the Gladiator. In this story, we heard about life in ancient Rome for the gladiators, using vocabulary like arena, gladiator, and freedom. Most of the story used the past simple tense, which we like to use for storytelling. What do you think Cassius did after he escaped? Would you help someone like Flavia if they saved your life? Let me know what you think, and don't forget to follow or subscribe for more easy English stories to increase your vocabulary and practice your listening skills. And if you would like more advanced topics and English listening practice, make sure to check out the Easy English podcast. I have a link to the Patreon in the description below as well. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Goodbye.